I want to be able to share something with you that you, I hope, can share with people in your family. We have holidays coming up. We have people who get together for non-holidays like birthdays or just dinners and things like that. And a lot of times family members, from posts that I've read from people in a lot of the larger groups I belong to with children who have special needs, a lot of parents are saying, I have my own mother will come to get my kids, and they come to get the one and they don't come to get the other one. They think that maybe the one can't handle whatever it is that we're doing, or I think a lot of times it's the adult who can't handle the child, whether it's can't really handle the child, doesn't really know how to deal with the child, or is embarrassed. There could be all kinds of things, all kinds of reasons, why millions of people out there just have a difficult time with, let's say, grandchild, niece, nephew, brother, sister. I think it's really important for people to understand, these people who are having difficulty, to understand the way that autism works with regards to the brain function. So autism specifically affects the way the brain processes information, interprets information. So the brain experiences what we experience differently. So the brain experiences life on a high volume setting. So like certain sounds, lights, textures that they feel, textures of just clothing on their body, and their own emotions can feel so intense at times. And it's so overwhelming that they don't even know how to respond to it. So because of that, they might have a really, really strong reaction, and they might have routines that they're used to that are changed. So it impacts how the brain is going to deal with it and respond to it. It also highly affects the ability of a child, especially a younger toddler, autistic toddler, who is trying to communicate their reaction to the lights, the sounds, the changes in the routine. Well, communication is delayed very often, or is different with children, with autistic children. So a lot of times we might notice that they have difficulty making eye contact, difficulty joining in and having that attention, not only attention to task, but what we call joint attention. So even during play or some kind of an activity, it almost looks like the child prefers to be on their own. I want people to understand the one thing about joint attention. That child wants to have friends. That child wants to be able to join in and interact, especially as the child starts to get a little bit older and hit, school age. It's just that that child has difficulty doing it. They have a hard time interacting with others. And so it takes a lot of effort with people who don't have autism, people who are adults, people who can actually take over that situation and intercede and be able to, teach children to play with other children. We have children with things other than autism. We have kids who look differently. We have, kids who learn differently for all kinds of reasons. There are all kinds of syndromes out there that actually make our kids have different shaped ears, different shaped eyes, different shaped necks, kids who have missing limbs, kids who talk funny. So it's really important to know also autistic children may not look different, but they may actually act like they want to be on their own. So it's important to know that they're not trying to be difficult. And when they have these tantrums and they have these behaviors, they're experiencing and reacting to whatever's going on in their own unique way. Number one, they may have their way of handling something, but they also need the support and the guidance to be able to communicate. So sometimes it's important to learn ways, especially as a grandparent or some type of a family member who may be spending more time with that child, to know, okay, I see that you're experiencing that. I see that you might be feeling this or that, when the child starts to calm down, when child starts to be able to get a hold of themselves. It's not possible to get through to a child who's in the middle of having a tantrum. You won't be able to have them make sense out of what you're even trying to say. But the one thing that will benefit them is you just keeping your voice calm, sitting with them, not touching them, talking calmly like this, just kind of saying, okay, I hear you. I hear you are yelling. I see you laying on the ground. When you're ready, you can sit up. Just keep your voice really calm. A lot of times that is really helpful so that the child doesn't hear you also out of control. Because if you want a child who is having a tantrum and is having these types of behaviors where they are reacting to light, sound, not getting their needs met, whatever the case may be, if you're acting out of control, how would you expect them to be in control? So we need to take a breath, and we need to be able to show them our support, demonstrate our calmness for them. And when they're ready, usually, if a child's in a store and they want a toy and they're screaming and arguing over wanting that toy, usually you know why they're crying. So let's say that's the problem. Let's not just say, no, can't have that. We're not buying that. We can't afford that. We're not here to get that. It's important to just acknowledge, oh, I see you, you like that Lego. Well, show me that Lego. Show me what it looks like. Take the Lego off the shelf. Look at it. Look at the back of it. Look at the age of it. Acknowledge in basic language, whatever level language that child understands, that you're acknowledging what they really, really want. And then say to them something that would be appropriate for your particular situation. If it's a money issue, for example, you want to say, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to write that down on a piece of paper, or I'm going to keep track of that in my phone that you want that. And I'm going to help you to save up for that. We're going to save money for that, and maybe we can come back and get that. Thank you for showing me that. Or if it's a piece of candy that they want, we want to acknowledge that and say to them, oh, wow, look at that one. Say it's like a lollipop. Oh, that's a pink lollipop. Let's see what other color lollipops they have. And make it show them that you're interested in what they're trying to express to you. Because saying an outright no and yelling at a child to stop their behavior, and I'm talking like even children that don't have autism, by yelling at your child, by hitting your child, by sticking your child in the corner for losing their cool, you might be able to stop a behavior, but you're not fixing the behavior. You're not problem solving the behavior with your child. Your child has learned basically nothing. They learned no coping strategy. They learned that how they feel about something isn't important to you. And it doesn't matter how they might be letting you know, just because they're not able to use their words, or they're not able to demonstrate exactly how they feel about wanting that toy or wanting that candy or whatever it might be. It's important for you to let them feel heard. Just like when you're upset on an adult level and you want to be able to express to someone how you feel, we all want to feel heard. We all want to feel like someone's at least acknowledged it. So my suggestion is to try that. That's my opinion. And I'm definitely an expert in my opinions. So the other thing I'd like to share with you is that looking at tantrums, whether it's an autistic child or a child who might be language delayed and can't find their words, or a child who is spot on with their communication skills, but they're having a meltdown and don't know how to get a hold of themselves and stay in control. It's important to acknowledge what they're feeling, acknowledge what they might want and need, and then just speak at their level so that you know that they're understanding, that they know you're understanding them, and to just try to tone down the whole level, because sometimes it just turns into an entire